Hi, everybody. This is Angel Arts yet again, and we are here to get to know yet another candidate for the Dragon Age Season 2 campaign. I am here today with Lolek. Say hi, Lolek.
Hello.
And we're going to dive right in to with the out of character questions. What is it about the Dragon Age universe that interests you?
Well, I think one of the main things is how rich the lore is and how much depth they put in the cultures. You really see that each country, each race have their own history, their own conflicts. There's a lot of bad blood. It's really a very complex universe that they built. At the same time, they have the more classical RPG fantasy elements like dragons and orcs, I mean, darkspawn, and elves and all that. But they also have a few new twists, like the way they deal with magic, all those things. So I think that's a very wide universe, and that's why it's so much fun to kind of get in the sandbox and play with it.
Okay, good answer. Question number two. What is it about tabletop gaming or role playing that interests you?
As far as I'm concerned, it's really first and foremost about the story. It's always about telling story, whether it be books or video games or movies. But in tabletop gaming, it's special because of two things. First, because it's very spontaneous. You don't really think in advance about how you're going to react. It makes it more lively in a way. And the second reason is that you're playing with other people. You don't control their response. You don't know how they're going to react. So, that makes it really very real and very immediate and a very interactive way to tell a story. So that's what I like.
Okay, totally agree with you completely. It's very unpredictable in that way. Not only to the players but to me too, as you probably have seen with a few times.
Yeah, it's especially fun when you say something and then someone comes up with a really unexpected and really funny answer.
Yeah. Yeah, people sometimes like to say, "Well, I don't understand. You're the dungeon master, the game master. Don't you control everything?" And I said, "No, we have very little control about we set things up, but the players kind of dictate at least, 70% of what happens, at least."
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Absolutely, it's a typical case of no plan survives meeting the enemy, because you can think about what the players are going to do all you want. They're always going to find a way to just surprise you and sometimes really, really wreck the storyline that you had planned for them.
oh, that's happened a few times.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Okay, so number three, why do you believe that you would be a good person for others to play with?
Okay, well, it's always tough to, kind of talk about your qualities, but I think I have a lot of imagination. I think I can really get my head in the game. I think I would be having a lot of fun with that, and when you're having fun, other people have fun too. And I also, what I want to do is kind of try and describe not just what my character does or says, but also why he does that and what his feelings are and all that. Try to add a tiny bit more of insight into him, and I think that could be fun for other people. And yeah, that's it.
Oh yes, absolutely. I find those the most interesting thing is what the characters don't actually say, but are thinking. So, what do you believe is your biggest weakness as a player, and how do you plan on overcoming slash improving that weakness?
A couple of years ago, we had a Pathfinder campaign. Like I said, I don't have much experience with that. So it was one of the few times we actually did tabletop gaming. And looking back on it, one of the things I didn't like about my gaming back then is that I kind of just went along with it. I just kind of followed the momentum created by the other characters. And this time around, I want to try. I mean, I'm a bit older. I've matured a bit. I want to try and put more momentum into the story, and I also want to try and make it so that we really have. I really try want to try and build a team there, so that we build a relationship between the different playing characters.
And the last question is, I think, a relatively fun question. Pick any event or situation that took place in the Dragon Age Season 1. How would your character have handled that situation differently or similarly?
I can mention a couple of situations there. There is the one in which Gwenelle was being accused
Mm.
of being maybe an abomination. And I was thinking, while I was watching that, I was thinking that in his place, I would probably have insisted a bit more on the fact that a Harrowed mage, in theory, cannot be tranquil. Maybe I would have offered to retake the harrowing to kind of prove my good faith. Another situation was the when they get on the flying ship and they try to convince people not to throw them overboard. That was hilarious, by the way. Uh, I think in that situation, as in many other situations, if I'm going with the character I presented, he would probably have reacted in many ways like Maximilian did, except probably more arrogant and probably more annoying, and probably kind of imbued of his self-importance. Like you don't want to get on bad terms with the Chantry. If you do that, that's going to end very badly for you. That probably wouldn't have saved him, but he wouldn't have known that.
All right, thank you. So that's the end of the out of character questions. Now we're going to actually have some fun and do some role playing. Lolek actually chose Dominique from Dragon Age Season 1. So those of you may not remember Dominique because he unfortunately doesn't really appear that much in Season 1. He was sort of like the antagonistic Templar that appears in Gwenelle's backstory. Technically, he's dead right now, but we're just making this hypothetical. But let's say that he did survive. So Dominique has actually risen up in the ranks and he's actually become the captain of the Templars in the White Spire, and your character is being told that he is trying to recruit an elite team of Templars specifically to do some, like shock troop mage hunting, and you're trying to get yourself included in this because I mean it's quite an honor. Like this is the White Spire, and this is the great. Well, you can decide for yourself, like what you've been told about Dominique, how wonderful he may or may not be. But at the very least, what you do know, regardless of your opinion of him, he's if you want to make a name for yourself in the Templars, this is the guy that you have to go through at least initially. So he is having interviews, I guess, with some of the Templar candidates, and you will be in the White Spire itself. You will be taken into his office. Now, the White Spire is completely different from the circle that you know of in Nevarran. I mean, this is Orlais, so everything is like pristinely beautiful and very well decorated, maybe even outlandishly decorated. Not that Nevarran itself was a hovel of sorts at all, but this is just in comparison is the cathedral of circle towers. So that in itself may or may not be overwhelming to you. But anyway, when you enter in, Dominique is wearing a full Templar armor. He looks very. You immediately gain an air of confidence from this man, for better or for worse, and he doesn't even look up at you when you come in. Like he seems to be going through some documents, perhaps documents from other candidates. What is your character doing when he enters into this very extravagantly decorated room? There's literally like paintings of himself in various poses, some of which are probably embellished. Like there's one of him like standing up on top of a dragon, the carcass of a dragon, and holding up the symbol of Andraste. This man definitely thinks very highly of himself. So
Okay, I go in. I do feel actually very overwhelmed because this is a unique opportunity for me, and I want to make a good impression. And it all looks very grandiose to me. I kind of glance quickly at the paintings. I'm like, what? But I don't say anything about that. I stand to attention, and then I sort of say loudly, "Night Captain, sir, reporting for duty, sir."
he slowly brings down the document, and he looks up at you and he says, "A new recruit. Welcome," he says. "Please have a seat."
I take a seat.
He goes through some of his files and says, "All right, then let's see. Which one are you?"
Uh, that's Sir Ludovic, sir. Uh,
Ludovic, Ludovic. Ah, yes, here you are. From Navarra, I see. Huh. We don't get very many of you people around these parts. What, your thoughts, just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on the circle back in Navarra?
it's everything goes very smoothly, sir. I was honored to do my training there. Although, of course, this place is very grandiose compared to our own humble circle.
Well, he says, of course, my deepest respects for the people of Navarra, but keep in mind, he says, if you do end up getting this position, you're going to be playing with the big leagues. And a place such as this, I think we definitely only expect the best people to join the ranks of the Templars. Do you believe that you personally would fit that bill?
Okay, so I was already feeling nervous before he asked that, and now I'm just trying not to squirm on my seat. I kind of feel the sweat kind of beating in my back,
Mm-hmm.
and it itches, and I'm feeling terribly nervous looking at him like that, and all the more so when I don't really can't think of an answer that's either arrogant or too humble, and I'm kind of trying to strike the right balance there. Um, and I say, um, well, sir, as you probably, as you may be aware, if you've received the letter that my Templar master said he was going to send, as my knight commander said he was going to send to you, you probably know that I graduated top of my class, and I actually had the chance to I was actually interested with a few escort missions that went fairly well. And sir, I am very dedicated to my duty. It would be an honor to join you, and I would do everything in my power to prove worthy of that honor and to represent the Chantry in the best of way.
I did actually see that letter. He says, calming. You get the sense that he's not necessarily trying to make you more nervous. He's just, I think he regards himself very highly, and therefore he automatically has an expectation with every single person that walks in the room to be someone that's worth also regarding highly too. Maybe not as much as himself, but so he goes over and says, "Yes, your superiors definitely have spoken very highly of you. It's quite impressive, quite impressive. But today," he says, "is about me evaluating my first impression of you. So why don't I ask you a simpler question? Why are you interested in joining our particular order here at the White Spire?"
I want to do something useful. I want to because guarding the mages within the circle is a very worthy call. I'm not questioning that. But the ones that truly pose danger to the population are those who leave the tower, who escape and try to wreak havoc within Thedas against the teachings of the Chantry. And what I want to do is stop those very dangerous mages and protect the innocent population whom they are threatening. And I believe that is the highest of callings. I kind of try to read his expression while I speak to kind of get a feel of where I'm at with him. He's kind of, I mean, he has a very high opinion of himself, but I kind of have some hero worship going on there. So I'm really, really trying to make the best impression, not just to get in, but because he's so Dominic and I really want to impress him.
Yeah, he's leaning back in his chair while you're talking to him, and he's got his hand, up to his chin as if he's in deep thought, and he's nodding at you, and he does smile. Actually, he doesn't remain stoic when you're talking. He does smile, so you think you must be doing something right. And then when you finish, he sits up again, and then he asks you, "Well, let me then ask you about your experience with mages then. Can you explain to me one of the most challenging situations you found yourself in, maybe compromising position you found yourself in while dealing with a mage or mages?
Um, Excuse me, sir, compromising position? I'm not sure I follow.
Well, I mean, during your time in the circle back in Navarra, have you had any situations with mages that you've protected that have been to have I guess challenged you in general?
Well, it has happened in some ways. I try to follow the rules. I think it is important for us to be an example to follow the rules dictated by the chantries. So some of the mages have tried to push me to see how far they could get before they started getting punished, and just stopping short of, you know, sir, just stop short of being insolent enough for me to do anything. And it it's been at first I didn't really know how to react, but I believe I was able to cope with them efficiently as I was gaining more experience and more confidence as I was following my Templar training.
What would you say was the harshest punishment that you've had to administer?
Uh, I did put a mage in solitary confinement for general insolence and also for not attending the chantry teachings as was mandatory.
I see, he says. Well, I just have to warn you that if you join our team in hunting down mages, some of the punishment that we might have to dole out might be a little bit more
Bloody.
severe than. I didn't say bloody, just severe than solitary confinement. I just wanted you to be completely aware of that.
I I understand that, sir, and I want you to know that I am entirely comfortable with that.
All right. Well, my next question is, as a Templar, what are your personal, honest thoughts on the Maker?
On the maker, sir. I'm speaking to you very honestly, sir. I don't know that I'm worthy enough to really have any thoughts about the maker. He is so much above us that I would not know. I would leave it to the chantry to teach us what to think of the maker, sir. Hello, viewers. Well, obviously, the reason why you should want me on that campaign is that you are going to need a stalwart, worthy Templar to keep an eye on all those foul, filthy, dangerous mages that I know are going to be running all over that campaign. I just can't see it coming. And I can assure you, I shall be ruthless, and I will kill them if needed. Don't worry about that. You can leave it all to me. So trust me and rest easy.